Welcome from Sananda. As I speak, allow, in a kind of a way, allow your mind to wander. A clearer way of expressing that is to let your mind go for a walk. In other words, not feel obliged to pay much attention to your mind for the time being. This is so that you can, in your own way, intuitively, with your inner knowing, sense or tune into the living relationship that you have with the earth, which has little to do with ideas or concepts, although we will be using ideas and concepts as we speak. Think, after all, of a relationship you have with someone for whom you have a deep affection. You may find that when you consider it, you might actually have very few ideas about the nature of the relationship. It simply is, and it matters to you. You care about this other person, they care about you. Have that sense then of the earth as consciousness, a very large consciousness that has great depth to it, breadth as well, many dimensions, enough consciousness to be aware of every living thing on earth, enough consciousness to be able to draw to it all of those materials that create a physical planet. When it's expressed in that way, you may feel that compared to that size of consciousness, your own consciousness is quite small and limited. And to the extent that you identify with your human form, there is some truth in that. But your consciousness is not limited to your human form at all. This is one adventure among many. And those adventures are of many different kinds as well. So you too are an immense consciousness, or at the very least can discover yourself as part of an immense consciousness. Let go then of any notion of large or small as you think of your relationship with the earth. We may come back to that, but for now, consider this simply as a relationship of deep friendship. And consider how you came to be here on earth living this life. You were invited by the earth, but you requested as well. You asked to come. So you're here by mutual agreement, two friends meeting. Very different forms. And yet, when you look at your physical form, it is, after all, made up of many, if not almost all, the elements that exist naturally on earth. If we consider, for example, a molecule of oxygen, that molecule exists in you resonates with all of the oxygen on Earth. You could, if you knew how, read the entire history of the Earth through a single element. And in a sense, that's what you're doing. Part of your reason for coming to Earth is to take on a body made out of its body, so that you may come to know more of how this consciousness expresses itself, and how you, by storing away this understanding, might at some subsequent date, some other place, some other dimension of being, choose to take on the body of a planet yourself. You're not really of a different order of being. So come again to that sense of friendship. Now, it is not improbable that you've already found yourself considering, as you consider yourself in a relationship of friendship with the Earth, that you have been in some way, inadvertently, carelessly, through misunderstanding, not the best of friends. For many of you look around at the relationship of humanity with the Earth and feel sadness, even despair, when it feels to you, the evidence of your senses tells you that the relationship is out of alignment, that humanity collectively have not really been understanding the nature of the gift that the Earth gives them. So you might feel as if you've been taking for granted, abusing this relationship. If so, as well as letting go of notions of large or small, see if you can let go of notions of good and bad, at least temporarily. The consciousness of the Earth is not merely large, it is very wise. It is going through its own process of evolution, just as you are. Your evolution and the evolution of the Earth are woven together. The Earth helps you to evolve, but you also are helping the Earth to evolve. What you, when you look at yourself or your fellow humans, may consider a mistake, is not seen in that way by the Earth. Rather, it is seen as you using the opportunities the Earth gives you to discover your limitations, your abilities, to sense, to tune in to your own highest path. Many of you feel awakening within you, and perhaps it's been awakening all your life. A sense that so much more is possible in relationship with the Earth. That a greater conscious, mutual awareness is available. That if you look at other forms of life with which you share the planet, the animals, for example, there can be a sense that if only there was just a little change, you and the animals would be in a far greater degree of communion, a sharing of consciousness, a deeper mutual understanding that would benefit all. Don't be ashamed that that has not yet been achieved. Recognize that many of the things that I speak of as being in the future may be a lot closer, both in the future for humanity as a whole and for you personally, than you might have imagined. You look out at the world and see environments being degraded. Your heart weeps. Look within. know of yourself that though you are not superhuman, being human is to have immense powers of resilience and recovery. You're beings gifted with the skill of transformation and transmutation as well. The ability to turn energy in one form to another form altogether. And if this is true of you, it is true of the earth also. The earth allows. It is the earth's choice that for you as humanity there is an allowing. A familiar comparison is the way in which you, if you're a parent or have been with small children, have recognized the power of allowing. That you don't always hold the child back from making her mistakes, because you know she learns through them. Likewise with the earth. She recognizes your ability as a shared consciousness, human consciousness, to steer in part by what you regard as your mistakes, to take the energy of mistakes and transmute it, to allow it to take on higher forms that are better aligned with your own higher good and that of the earth. This mode of allowing is not the only way in which the world interacts with you. The earth observes. Every atom of your being is in resonance with the body of the earth. The subtle energies that surround every atom, every molecule, every cell of your body, these resonate with the wisdom of the earth. And you're learning to read that wisdom directly from your own energy field. This is one reason why we encouraged you at the beginning to allow your thoughts to go for a walk, so that you could focus on something other than thinking about your relationship with the earth, but tuning into it at these more subtle levels. Above all, as you tune in to your relationship with the earth, tune into beauty. You might start by knowing from within yourself that of the natural world that you find beautiful. There is so much that you find beautiful. That beauty is not a fantasy. It's not a random made-up thing. Your sense of the beauty of the earth is you tuning into the heart of the earth, the astonishing creativity of the earth, and recognizing that that creativity that the earth has, you have also. Feel then, as we continue to speak, a heart connection with the heart of the earth. This heart connection can grow day on day. It can deepen, widen. You can find more and more dimensions to it. The heart connection you have with the earth speaks to you not merely through that direct, beautiful connection, but through every living being, including those that you might not automatically assume to be alive. The rocks, for example. Everything is alive. Everything that is the earth has consciousness. And so you find yourself not at some distance from the earth, a bridge of light and love connecting your heart center with perhaps deep within the physical body of the earth, its heart center, many miles away. No. Your heart connection with the earth is in every atom around you, every atom of the air, every living being, every form of consciousness. Everything is alive to you, and you are alive to everything. This is another reason for encouraging a relaxation from the thinking mode of relating to yourself and the world. Your ideas, to put it simply, are much less alive than you are. Your essence communicates with the earth easily. Your spirit. Part of what is happening now for humanity, and many of you who hear these words or read a transcript later are engaged in this process I'm about to describe. The earth offers many dimensions. Your outer world reality is not the only reality that the earth holds in its consciousness. Collectively as humanity, you're learning to shift to what for simplicity we'll call a higher vibrational reality. A more alive version, if you like, of the outer world as you know it. A world in which the light contained within matter is more fully expressed. And the earth does not do this to you. It does not wave a wand and say, "Ta-ra, here's a new world for you." No, it works through you and with you. You are realizing that new dimension of being. Every time you discover beauty within yourself, indeed every time you let go of worrying about that which you don't find beautiful about yourself, you're opening this new dimension of being. Each time you see your fellow human beings, no matter what their actions might be, as beautiful beings also, you're opening up that new dimension of being. You're becoming it. You express it through your energy. And you find yourself waking more and more frequently, more and more continuously, into a new dimension of all that the earth is. There you will find many awaiting you, but they've arrived a little before you, helping to make the place ready, you might say. And so in some ways we're talking about a movement that is no more than the movement through the thinnest of veils. But in other ways it can feel very demanding. It is a prerequisite that if you are to be in that new dimension of the earth, you must have learnt to forgive yourself, for example. And although in theory that is such an easy thing to do, you just declare, "I forgive myself." In practice, you well know that those things for which you've not quite yet forgiven yourself have a habit of coming back and ambushing you. So even though this new aspect of Earth's consciousness is opening for you, patience helps. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the earth. Be patient with your fellow humans, with all forms of life. Allow yourself to imagine that in all this time of profound change that you are experiencing, there are no mistakes. There is nothing wrong. There is much that you wish to do differently, and you are. more and more, finding new ways forward, not only in terms of the internal relationships I've spoken of, but of course in terms of your relationship with the outer world, finding ways of cooperating, collaborating, creating together, recognizing that when you come together you can embody more of the beauty of all that the world is, all that the earth is, than you can as a group of individuals. Consciousness shared grows. You support one another. It is this lesson that the earth teaches. For whilst it is true that the earth allows, it's also true that the earth teaches. Sometimes the teaching is, as we've said, through the very process of allowing. But sometimes it is also through modeling for you ways of being. Some of those ways of being are modeled by others who share this world with you. Plants, animals, the minerals. Some by beings who are not in physical form, but whose presence you can be sensitive to and aware of. Some of those lessons are held in the form of fluid, open, beautiful, delicate patterns of light that you are learning to embody. This is your heart and the heart of the earth in communion with one another. When there is this communion, the earth is able to transfer to you directly certain kinds of template of light that lift your heart, that open your mind to more of your own higher wisdom, that allow you to use your creativity to find new ways of being with yourself and with others and with the earth. So much is possible. And as we've said, much can happen in a short space of time. But we've also said patience is really useful. And so another thing to let go of is the notion of how long all this ought to take. That gets in the way. You are most effective when you are most fully in the moment. And if you're worrying about a timetable, you're not really in the moment. Release your fears of what has been perceived as past errors. Release your fears of imminent disaster. Neither tell you any kind of necessary truth about the nature of your being. You are creative. Join with the earth in holding a vision of a planet of profound joy, of abundance, of richness of experience and variety, of every living being being fulfilled, feeling a sense of alignment with some higher purpose beyond even that of the earth. Feel that within yourself. Recognize and honor the beauty of your own being. It then becomes so much easier to relax into the beauty of the earth's being and to hear its wisdom and act upon that wisdom. Thank you for listening. Go well.